Welcome back to World-Beater Wrestling. Today, 3 common mistakes for the headlock and headlock takedown. Now, this is a topic that was requested by multiple people. Go figure, I never thought a headlock would be interesting, but here we are. There are definitely a lot of ways I see the headlock applied incorrectly, and there's a lot of ways you can add to it with just a few simple shifts of body weight as well as grip. So we're going to start from a lockup. Real simple way into the headlock, break that collar grip away. Now, here's probably the most common thing I see, and it's with the grip. We want to use either an S grip or a gable grip. There's a few different ways to do it in pro wrestling. I like to personally use an S grip or a gable, but if we're going to use an S grip, which is the most common, what I often see is people locking this grip here. So the head locking arm has palm facing to the sky. Now, nothing inherently wrong with this. You can still lock it on fairly tight. But if you watch carefully, here's where the mistake happens. If we lock it here, you can see a little bit of space in there. If we switch the grip, so I've now got the back of my hand facing to the sky, suddenly I've closed up the gap. There's a different part of my arm and bicep pushing on the neck, so it closes up that entire gap. Whereas when it's here, it's actually just a little bit open. Of course, we're trying to be friendly with our training partners here, but if we're wrestling around, we're rolling around, we often find that if things aren't tight, things get messy. You start to fall apart a little bit. So tightness, in terms of what you're applying, is extremely important. So rather than palm up, we're going to go palm down, back of your hand, almost against the chin or nose, wherever you've got it. Just make sure it's nice and tight. The second point that I see done wrong often, this is all in the takedown, and it kind of takes 2 to tango with this one. But if you feel your partner doing the wrong thing, you can adjust no matter which position you're in. This one's all about the arm, the left arm, that should be wrapping around the body. So from this headlock position, normally what your partner's going to be doing is grabbing the grip, because they don't want this grip on them. So they're going to be trying to break it apart, or wherever the pain is, that's where their hand's going to go. So by doing that, as we go down slowly into position, their arm is normally going to wrap around the body, which it needs to be. Occasionally, we see the arm trail behind, and here's what happens. As we go over, if the arms trail, all we have is the head, which it's uncomfortable. It doesn't take much for my partner to slip out. All they have to do is push the back, and they should be able to slide out of the grip really easily. If we can keep the arm attached, we've got a tighter hold. It also opens up a lot of arm submissions, which we'll see shortly. So we're going to go lock up. As we get that grip, we want to make sure that arm's through. If your partner doesn't have their arm through, you can grab the elbow. And again, this is a little bit more like a catch wrestling style of the hip throw. Grab the elbow and take them down in the same fashion. So from here, we go over. If we scoot around just a little, you'll see the arm has come through. Now this gives me plenty of options. If I wanted to, I could put the arm between the legs. I could start to hyperextend that way. I could even lift my foot on top and start to lock this almost Americana type position as well. And at the very least, it gives me a little bit more of a lock if I scoop under the elbow joint. There's a lot of different holds in catch wrestling which apply a great deal of pressure from this position, which we call the scarf hold or kezugatami. It's an old judo position. So being here, keeping everything tight under the elbow, even if your partner was pushing away, here, you can really dig in and put that pressure down, which leads me to tip number 3, and that's all about the body position. I see a lot of people have their legs out to the side, either like this or legs out straight. This puts us in danger of being swept. So it doesn't take much if my legs are here for the person underneath to roll you to your shoulders and pin you from here. Very easily taken off balance. But if I want to have a stronger base, my left leg is going to be straight in line with my partner's spine. If I can stick it out this way and have active feet in the ground, pushing and lifting my hips up, not only am I now putting all my weight through my partner, again, be careful with your training partners, not only am I putting all my weight down, it's very much harder to sweep me over into a pin. So again, even in a pro wrestling sense, we want to have optimal position, optimal control, making sure we're ready for all possibilities. And if you want to be real cruel about it, plenty of ways to finish from here. One of my favorites, scooping the leg, grabbing the insides, and you're pulling in with your knees as you pull out with your hands until you get the tap. So, 3 common mistakes for the headlock. Play around with it. I love headlocks. There's heaps of opportunities to chain on from it and to add different setups into it.
If you want to see more videos like this, click on the subscribe button, spread the word, and if you have any questions or requests for World Beater Wrestling, don't be afraid to comment below.